I hate email marketing because it works too well. Here's how. I'm Jude Chardon, I'm 16 years old. I dropped out of high school to start my own lead generation business, helping scale marketing agencies. This is my road to $1 million. Welcome to episode 3. Since the last episode, we've been working a lot on our leverage and how we're leveraging different operations while still booking a lot of meetings. Email marketing has become our prime core part of our service and our program. Essentially, we've changed everything, moved it so email marketing is a much more leveraged vehicle of outreach. This video is going to go over how we're currently using email marketing and how you guys can use email marketing. So you've probably heard the term before, cold email, but what actually is cold email? Cold email is a form of B2B outreach in which you send an email to a prospect who has no idea who you are, no idea what your business is, and pretty much just no idea about anything, right? And hopes to secure them as a client, right? Pretty simple. So how is cold email actually going to help us, right? So this is essentially where yourself might be, our clients are, and where we actually once were. So little to no clients, right? No leverage. Pretty much no systems in place, right? But what cold email does is we start using cold email and it gets us to exactly where we want to be, right? Hundreds of clients, seamless, automated, leveraged outreach, right? Simple. This is the dream. Where do you want to be? Either there or little to no clients. Pretty simple question. So why not paid ads or why not cold calling, right? So the thing is with paid ads is they're expensive. You can target people but not personalize them really. There's more people every day using ad blockers, limited credibility, and a few more things there. But cold calling is time consuming. It's not leveraged at all, right? Not many people like cold callers nowadays because they get slammed with cold callers. It's essentially like fishing for prawns using a fishing rod, right? Not efficient at all. But cold email is a different story, right? Cost effective, it's efficient, you can scale it, target it, right? You get plenty of analytics to optimize, non-intrusive, permission-based, right? You can reach globally any time of the day, right? You can automate it, follow-up opportunities, documented communication, right? So good. But the biggest thing is the fact that it's leverage, right? And that's what we want. We want leveraged outreach. But how is it leveraged? Well, let's take a look at cold calling, right? So this is cold calling. So much input, right? But the amount of leads that we're getting from it is low, right? So we don't want to be doing this. We would rather be doing this. So lower input, but we get a high amount of leads, right? So do you want to either be cold calling for say 6 hours a day or spending one day on cold emails, but getting say 4 times the amount of appointments, 4 times the amount of leads, right? Obviously, no brainer. We want to be doing cold email. So this is exactly what we started doing for our clients, right? But how do we do it? Right, I've broken it down into 5 simple steps for us to follow today. Number 1 is, who are we targeting? We need to actually find out who we're targeting, because if we don't know who we're targeting, it's essentially like throwing shit at the wall and hoping that it sticks. I actually made a whole video on how to pick your $1 million market, right? If you don't already have a market or you don't already have an ICP, go watch that one. Lots of value in how you guys can start doing this yourself. So let's say we've got our target, right? We know who we're going to do, right? Now we're going to actually start scraping the leads. Sorry, this is meant to be step 2. Scrape the leads. I usually use Apollo, but there's so many softwares out there in which you can chuck in a few different filters, like where location, how big are the companies, who do you want to find, etc, etc. Once you pump them in, you put a few credits through, then you're going to get pumped out with a nice big list of leads with emails, contact numbers, etc. Now, we want to actually create an angle for each campaign. So, an angle is essentially planning. So, who are we actually going to target for the pain point? So, that's the number 1. So, target. What's their pain? What are we actually going to be solving, right? So, what's their pain? Where are they right now? And then what's their dream outcome? Where do they want to be? Then there's number 4, right? Pretty plain and simple. The solution. What are we actually going to be doing for them? So you might mention Google Ads, SEO, etc, etc. Whatever you're going to be doing for them to get them to that point where they have the filled calendar. So once we have the whole angle right, we know who we're going to be targeting. What's their pain? What's the dream outcome? What's the solution we're going to hint at? Then we actually need to put the campaign together. But what does a campaign actually consist of? Well, usually for myself and our clients, we have 3 emails. There's the initial email, there's the follow-up email, and then there's the second follow-up email. the initial email is usually the attention grabber, or like the big value add introduction email. So this is essentially where we introduce ourselves as an expert, right? Pitching them, but not obviously trying to sell to them, right? Grabbing their attention while providing value. Then we have the second follow-up. Second follow-up's a very, very important one. This is essentially the case study, either past results or just more value that we're going to add if you don't have a case study or past results. This is essentially meant to prove to them that what we do does work. We've done it before. Then we have the second follow-up. So this is the final complete drive with humor. So essentially where we're going to try really push into their inbox now if they haven't already replied, and really try funnel out a reply from them. I usually do add some sort of humor to the last one because we want to normalize ourselves. We don't want to go in just like all these other companies that are going through shooting these really serious big corporate emails to their inbox. They get enough of those. Let's find a way we can stand out, and usually that is by adding some humor. A little bit of a joke. Say if it was for dentists, you might be like, hey look, I'm not going to clean my teeth until you reply to this email. Let's hope we're not here for long. That could literally be a whole follow-up for the last one. And that's just to really push a reply, get them to see it while adding a little bit of a joke. So that's cool and all, but then what does each individual email, what's the structure of that? So usually it's pretty consistent throughout the three of them, except for sometimes the last one can be slightly different. Usually there's the hook, which is the attention grabber, most important part of the email, because if they don't read past the hook, it's pointless the rest of it, right? So the hook's the most important part, grabbing their attention. Usually it's something that really leaves them shell-shocked, grabs their attention, gets them intrigued to read the rest of it. Then we have the pitch or the value add. So this is essentially where we dive into either their problem, why it's a big problem, how we can fix it, or we go into, hey look, have you tried to fix your problem by doing XYZ, and just providing with them value, making ourselves look like the expert in the situation. Then we have our call to action. So obviously try and get them to reply to the meeting, to either let yourself send a video, book a meeting, or hop on a call, right? Pretty simple. So these are the three main components of the email, right? All very, very important. So from that, just set plain and simply that, we have a very much good understanding of how email campaigns work and how you guys can actually do them for yourself. Obviously, out on YouTube, there's plenty tips on how you can actually write the individual emails yourself. I'm not going to go through that just on this video. However, we can run through it another time on another video. I don't want to keep you here for too long. The next step is launching, right? So after we've actually developed the campaign, right, we've written it, we need to actually launch this, right? We need to actually send it to people. So how do we do this? So there's two things. Using the leads that we got earlier, we're going to divide it up into sample sizes, because we don't want to just launch an email that could be a terrible email to say 2,000 people all at once and have no results and then be spamming them with new campaigns. No, we want to launch it to small little sample sizes to essentially test the waters. Then we also need a software to do it on, right? So we're going to use a software, say like SmartLeads, which I use for myself and my clients, or you can use something, say like Instantly. Don't just send them off Google Gmail. Not effective at all. You're not going to be able to do mass and no automated nurturing sequences. So now we've got everything set up, right? We've got the sample size, we've got the campaigns, right? We know exactly who we're targeting for each campaign. We've got the software. Now we launch them, right? So we actually hop onto SmartLeads, we load them up, and we launch, right? Next is optimize, right? So this is a really big part because we want to make our campaigns continuously better so that we continuously get better results each time and time again, right? So how do we find our winning campaigns, right? So we start by writing our initial campaign. Right, then we launch it to say 500 leads, maybe 200 leads or so. Then we go, look, is there a 60% open rate? If not, let's try a new subject line. Then we go back, is there 60% open rate? If not, right, let's run a new preview for it. Then we go, what about the reply rate? So now we have the 60% open rate. Is the 5% reply rate there? If not, let's run a new call to action. Then we go back. Now this time we do have 5% reply rate. Is 25 positive? No, new first line. Then so on and so forth with, is there a 0.5 booking rate? If not, let's go back, rewrite the campaign, right? So going through the whole process, eventually till we get a very good campaign, then we start to scale this, right? Mining it down, finding the real good campaigns, the winning campaigns, then we start to launch them to more and more leads, right? Start to launch them to 1,000, 2,000 leads, right? Eventually we get a 1% booking rate, right? Then once you do that, we have a winner and we continue to scale with a few winning campaigns, and then once again, start going through the winning campaigns again, taking components of each of them, building up new campaigns to eventually get even better and better campaigns. And from there, your campaigns always get stronger and your business grows, right? That is pretty much the whole email campaign system all put together. What I've actually done for you guys is I've put together a template, right, where you guys can go through, develop your own cold email campaigns, right? Go through, fill out all the angles, get everything set up so that way you guys can launch them yourself, right? If you want that one, just subscribe, go down to, there's a link in the description, fill that out, and you'll get that template over to yourself. If you have any questions or you have any specific parts of the cold email, work function that you'd like me to make a whole video on, just